What's going on, all my bubbles? Today I am going to be playing, well, I'm not playing anything, we're going through some of the creepiest things little kids have said to their parents or to their carers. So, I think I might have nightmares after this. Right, so the first one. I was tucking in my 2-year-old. He said, "Goodbye, Dad." I said, "No, we say good night." He said, "I know, but this time it's goodbye." Had to check on him a few times to make sure he was still there. That is kind of creepy, because he says goodbye, but this time it's goodbye. Maybe he was just playing around saying, "Oh yeah, but this time it's goodbye. Tomorrow it can be good night, but tonight it's goodbye." And my phone just went off. Freaking Josh Cook. Your notification. Number 2. My mother told me that when I was younger, newborn until 4 or 5, I used to wake up from my slumber every time we passed a cemetery in a car. Apparently, once I was able to talk, I used to make her turn up the music when we passed because the voices were too loud and I couldn't listen to so many at once. Still freaks her out. Maybe makes me question my sanity at that age. Well, that could be something really it's really difficult to explain these because it could be something I keep saying could be something to do with her brain saying because when your brain carries on when you tell your brain something, it sort of makes it actually happen. So if you tell yourself too much that you can hear voices, you will hear voices. If you tell yourself so much that you have this issue, it becomes an issue and it's not easily ridded of. It can go through with age, so it can disappear with age, but it's sort of this thing that I've been told about. 3. My 4-year-old nephew was going to his mum with a toy plastic hammer pretending he was going to hit her. My wife said, "Don't hit your mum with a hammer," and he denied he was going to, but he then came up to my wife and whispered, "If it was a real hammer, I would." I want to meet this boy. That's funny as. 4. I'm always writing these down. Here are a few. Sometimes I'll have a farm and I will have some animals like a rat and some mice. I will have a little pecker chicken with a little pecker thing and he will pecker at my head and make a hole and it will tickle. So he's basically saying that a chicken will peck a hole in his head. 5. My 3 to 4-year-old nephew, it was about 18 years ago, he is now 22, once said to his mum, my sister, "I am happy because you are my mummy now. I like you more than my last mummy. I want you to be my mummy next time too. Promise me you will be my mummy." Oh, that is so sweet. Oh, that's adorable. I feel oh, it's so cute. She is at best a chatterbox. Oh, 6, sorry. 6. I have a 4-year-old daughter, almost 5. She is at best a chatterbox, talks a lot about things that don't quite make sense, but she is extremely intelligent. My husband and I discussed the possibility of having a younger sibling with her and how she would feel about it. She said, "I would be happy because your other baby will come back." She didn't understand what she meant, and I asked her to explain what she meant. Before I was here, they asked me to pick a mummy. I picked you. I asked her why, and she said, "I picked you because you were sad. Your other baby got sick and you were sad. I picked you just to make you happy." She said, "I think that baby will come back, and then we can have a baby boy too." This happened a few days ago. Our daughter does not know that I lost a little boy before she was conceived. We've never mentioned it, and there is no possible way she could know. Still kind of freaked out, but almost comforted in a way. Maybe he'll pick me again. These aren't freaky. These are so sad and so adorable. It is a bit freaky how she knew that they had a baby before her that got lost. But it's just adorable. It's just so sad how many people go through these things. I don't know how many of these there are, but these are recent as well, because I saw this website and I thought it'd be cool to do this video, but half of them are so sad and so adorable, and I finally feel like there's humanity in the world, like in little kids though. Like, it's just adorable. While changing my daughter 7. While changing my daughter in front of our front of the open closet door, she kept looking around me and laughing. I asked her what was wrong, what was so funny. She said the man, to which I replied, "What man?" Then she pointed at the closet and said, "The man with the snake neck." I turned around and there was nothing there. I'm afraid to look into the history of my house to see if anyone hung themselves in the closet. At least she wasn't scared. That one I've heard before in another video, but that is kind of scary. Like, oh, that one's the scariest so far, I think. Not to me, but to his grandmother. He was cuddling sweetly with her and being very sweet. He was about 3 at the time. He takes her face into his hands and brings his face closer to hers. Then tells her that she's very old and will die soon. Then he makes a point of looking at the clock. That isn't necessarily scary. It's just something that like kids do, because my sister's done that sort of thing to my nan when she was like that age. Now she's 8 and she's a little bugger. Hate her. Joking. Love her. 9 is Daddy, remember that time we died? That is kind of scary. 10. I was on a bus recently and we were stopped outside. Oh, and we're stopped outside a walking clinic. A little girl in the seat in front of me turned to her dad and said, "Death is the poor man's doctor." And that was it. Even I don't understand what that kid's on about. 11. My 5-year-old son asked me last week, "What do you see through black circles in my eyes when you're controlling me while I'm at school?" Kids these days. Always wondering why the parents are stalking them. What number did I get up to? 11. Yeah, 11. Right. 12. My notably pregnant sister and I were having a conversation at the dining room table. My 4-year-old son was also present and asked my sister if there was a baby in her belly. She affirmed. He said he completely straight-faced, slid from his chair and headed to the kitchen. "We need to get it out. I'll go get the knife." I don't even know. That is just hilarious, I guess. The thing is, like, little kids, like, that's not necessarily creepy. It's just because little kids are, like, they don't know what, like, pregnancy and childbirth is like and what happens, because no one, and I mean no one, probably remembers them being born, seeing the light for the first time. I mean, there's probably a few people out there, but hardly anyone will know what it was like. I mean, I certainly don't, and they won't know what childbirth is like. And the thing is, like, it's difficult to explain, but kids don't know what they're on about with that kind of stuff, so it's not necessarily creepy, it's just nature. Right, number 13. When I was about 4, I remember talking to Mr. Peterson. Whenever I was at my grandmother's house, he looked like a hobo from the Great Depression, had a guitar and sang me old-timey blues. He told me that he died when he fell off a train while he was riding while drunk on the moonshine. I stopped seeing him when I was about 6. Anyway, 6 months ago, I found my dad's old acoustic guitar and started playing. My little cousin told me, "Mr. Peterson is proud of you," and left. What? That is kind of scary, because, I mean, like, how would, like, their cousin know what was, like, that's just unexplainable, really. I'm gonna do one more, and then that's gonna be it for the video. Number 14. I was preparing to give a lecture on heart anatomy with my 3-year-old next to me. He asked what a large thing was on top of the heart. I explained the term vessel and the aorta. Aorta? I don't know. He looked, I'm not good with science. It's like my least strong subject. That's like the weakest subject of mine. Least strong. I can't English. He looked down and he said he couldn't see his aorta. I explained, no, the aorta is inside your body. You can't see it now. He said, that's okay, Mummy. When you're dead, I'll look at yours. Okay, I'm going to do one more to round it up to 15. 15. My 4-year-old says to us at dinner, my other dad is visiting us tonight. I say, oh, yeah, when? And he replied, oh, you can't see him, only I can, and he comes at 13 o'clock. That is kind of creepy. That is really creepy. That is really, really, really creepy. Oh, that's so creepy. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like to hit the like button in the face like I called you a pussy. And have a bubbly day, and I'll see all you people in the next video. Bye-bye.